How you doing, folks? Shankar Singham here with another Red Star report on activism in action. Actually, this is going to be a little bit more of a rant in action because just absolutely fed up of what people have been saying out there about what defund the police actually is. I don't think anybody really has a clue. There's just so much right-wing garbage going out that's and disinformation going out that people just really don't understand what it means. Does it mean that we have no more police anymore? Does it mean that there's just no cops anymore? No, absolutely not. That's not what it is. Before I get into that, let's talk about this week's actions. The first one is quite all of them. Of course, all of them quite sad. Again, both of them have to do with police. The first one is with Hector Hernandez, who was gunned down in front of his home with his hands up. He was attacked by the police dog, which he defended himself against the police dog, which the police dog's handler, the cop, Officer Farrell, went up to the Malay and shot Hector twice in the chest, killing him instantly. This is in front of Hector's neighbors and community who saw the entire thing, who thought the police overreacted. Right here, you're about to see footage of Fullerton City Council where you have the community and the neighbors come out to plead with Fullerton City Council to ask the district attorney to prosecute Officer Farrell, which this is an absolute exercise and waste of time. There's no way the Fullerton City Council is going to ask the district attorney to do this. The district attorney is a right-wing blowhard, full of himself. This is his first year or first session as DA, and he's probably going to win a second term unless somebody steps up. Unfortunately, he plays dirty during elections, and this is how he wins. His name is Todd Spitzer. So here is footage of the family, friends, a community of Fullerton coming out to City Council, to Fullerton City Council, to beg for or ask for prosecuting Officer Farrell. Also, take note: the police chief is right in front of where the people are speaking, and look at his smug, look at his face, like he's just tired of hearing this, like he can't, like he's got better things to deal with. And the police chief the fire chief is sitting next to him, the police chief, and he's looking at the police chief like, you're an asshole, man. I mean, we responded to this call with our paramedics and to save his life because you guys, we're tired of responding to your guys' shootings by trying to save these people's lives. That's the fire chief's look. I think it is. But take a look at the video, check it out. Try to hold back any tears because it is pretty heartfelt.
Chief, I don't know how you can look at this and justify anything that the officer did here.
Please direct your comments to the council.
Okay, so this is not what we expect from policing in Fullerton. This is a clear murder. Hector was on the ground. He had every right to defend himself from a dog that was sent to attack him while he was doing what he was told with his hands in the air. So he had every right to defend himself. The law clearly specifies that you can use deadly force only to protect human life, and it's that way for a reason. Otherwise, any officer could just use a dog to set people up whenever they want and shoot them.
Yep.
You clearly just say, oh, get him, dog, and we know that probably 99% of the time someone's going to try to defend themselves from a dog biting them. So an officer will just be able just to shoot people whenever they want at will. Instead, he was screamed at by at least 10 officers that were telling him all the same thing, something he's already doing. So they basically intimidated him back to where he felt secure in front of his house, and he never dropped his hands. How do you justify moving up and shooting someone? It's very simple. He saw his dog get injured, and he killed him because he didn't want his dog to get hurt any further. He lost all sight of his training, moved up fast, and decided, I need to kill him to stop him from hurting my dog. And that's against the law. So how could he just roam the streets of Fullerton like this is not a problem? If he cared about the city, this isn't the best we have to give the citizens in the city. I mean, this makes no sense. I shouldn't have to be here complaining about this. I had more trust in my police department and the prior city council that they would fix this problem. We shouldn't even have this conversation. I understand this is a tough job, but this isn't the way you do your job. There's a lot of training put into these guys. And for an officer just to lose himself and lose all his training and decide all I can do is kill him to stop him from hurting my dog, and this is what he does. And everyone just look at this and act like, well, let's not talk about it. It's okay, we got a lawsuit. The lawsuit's going to be there financially. We want justice. We want this officer not to be on our streets.
So your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Good job, Bill.
Good evening, council members. My name is Amina Mirza Kazi. I'm a Fullerton resident. I'm a mother of 4, an attorney, and a concerned community member about what happened to Hector Hernandez that night. The more I've learned about what happened, the more appalled I am at the lack of accountability, the lack of response, and the lack of information that we have been getting as a community, despite multiple demands for information. We all know about the Derek Chauvin verdict today. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said, "I would not call today's verdict justice, however, because justice implies true restoration, but it is accountability, which is the first step towards justice. And now the cause of justice is in your hands," meaning the people. Our community has not even been able to take that first step towards accountability because we do not have the video footage released. We do not have access to the witness statements. We do not have access to the autopsy report, which we're hoping that you council members can all influence by getting that released to the community and the legal team.
And to the family.
And to the family, of course, the neighbors, Bill, who was there. All we're relying on are the witness statements of Bill and others who saw this murder in real time. We're also requesting that you address what we are seeing as community members of the issue of policing in our communities and taking some of the resources for the policing for mental health crises, domestic violence issues, and finding alternate, maybe bold, maybe innovative solutions to solve those issues. Last August, I was watching a police encounter of a Latino man pulled out right next to Sunny Hills High School, put on the curb, 3 police vehicles. And what had he gotten pulled over for? For not having his friend license plate on. He was pulled over, and as soon as I started recording, the officers threw something, they wrapped it up. And I said to the officers, "Where's your reasonable suspicion?" "We don't need reasonable suspicion. He didn't have his license plate." "Well, what justified the length of this encounter?" "Ma'am, this isn't our training. This is how we're trained." "Oh, you're trained this way?" They said, "You can file a complaint." And I said, "Well, I have other avenues to address that." And that's another reason why I'm here tonight. You are our avenue to address this crisis in our community, to take that first step towards accountability for Hector Hernandez, and to make sure that my children, my black and brown children, have the freedom to walk their streets, to drive their cars, to go to school, to go run errands for mama when I'm too tired after a long day, and not have to be threatened by police officers who may take their lives, their dignity, and my loved ones. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the residents of Fullerton coming on out to beg for prosecution of the cop. Since Officer Farrell has been back on duty as of this week, and nothing's going to happen to him, or the district attorney is going to do anything at all. Then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to happen here because there's no accountability here with the police anymore, and it's just absolutely disgusting. The second rally that happened this week was for Isiah Cervantes, who is a individual that's he's on the spectrum. He's a little bit slow, so he couldn't understand the police commands, the sheriff's commands. Now, this is East LA Sheriff's Department, also known as the Banditos. They are probably one of the most ruthless sheriff's stations in Southern California, I would say. They have the most violations, the most shootings. They shot Mr. Isiah Cervantes in the back 6 times while he was face down. This is a man who's autistic. That's the word I was looking for. He was autistic. It takes him about 20 minutes to tie his shoes. That's a huge thing for him. So for him to seemingly not comply with the police that shot him is an absolute joke. Now the sheriff's department, who assured the family that they would be transparent about this whole thing, bullshit, won't even release the body cam footage, won't release the name of the officer that shot him. That's how disgusting it is. But take a look at this. This is a rally outside the East LA Sheriff's Department. They had the press corps there. Many organizations turned up. And take a look. It's quite sad again.
¿Justicia para quién? ¿Justicia para quién? Gracias.
You guys have anything to say?
Thank you for that question. So I want to touch on
Be fucking ashamed of yourselves.
We don't know if it is a hard I am not able to but I do research and
Fucking SWAT gear and shit.
One of the things that has come forth on this case and a lot of other cases is the inability and incapability that the officers have to handle mental health situations. They are incapable of doing it. So we want to thank you guys all first and foremost for coming out here. We really appreciate you guys showing up and spending your Sunday with us today. My name is Alejandro. I run United Brown Coalition. And we have a lot of organizations out here that came out to support these families. You know why we're out here. We're out here because the sheriffs keep shooting us. They keep murdering us. And this East LA Sheriff's Department continues to do it. I want to thank CSO for coming out here. Say their names. Laura, I don't know where Laura's at, but oh, there you go. Say their names. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for co-organizing this event. La Raza Killings, thank you guys as well. And the families, if the families can come up here, please. We would like to hear from you guys. Isiah's family, if you guys can come up here, the Cervantes family, please.
Well, first of all, thank you. My name is Austin Dove, and thank you all for being here on this Sunday. It's a true fact that all of us would rather be somewhere else. Each one of us is involved in witnessing day by day and week by week the sheriff slaughtering black men and brown men. It doesn't matter if you're holding your hands up, if you're leaving a liquor store with some items, if you're in your own living room, sitting peacefully on your couch. The result's the same. The most vulnerable community are disabled. The most vulnerable of us are those who can't mobilize. This is Isiah's twin brother, Isaac. They've been sharing a life together the whole time, fighting each day and struggling just to have respect and dignity in their homes. Isiah takes 15 or 20 minutes to tie his shoes, but he gets it done. That's the spirit and determination of disabled people. And when you meet that moment with being also black or also being brown, and you're confronted by police who only know one move, why is this person not moving fast enough? Let me get my gun out. Why is this person not doing what I say? Let me body slam them. In this case, it was 16 seconds from the time those deputies put hands on Isiah, who has OCD, they were told that, who has other challenges that were conveyed to the police, to those deputies. And it still took only 16 seconds to put a shot in his back that ripped through his spine. 16 seconds. That is unconscionable. That should never ever happen. These deputies should feel responsible about that. They should be talking to their colleagues, talking to their peers saying, hey guys, we can't roll like this anymore. You take a 140-pound man, body slam him, and then contort the video to say, hey, he was coming after us. Any one of us here could take a 140-pound kid in that situation, making no threat to you specifically, no words. He could barely speak. He had a hearing aid in his left side, and they approach him and they do the same thing they do to everyone else. So we are fed up. This crowd is disgusted. I've met the entire family. I'm with them all the time. They didn't expect to be in this situation. They're a close-knit family who love each other, who work hard. trying to pursue the American, so-called American dream. And their lives were disrupted and ripped apart by the aggression, the one-stop shop for this department, particularly here in East LA, is to use aggressive against people who are black and brown, even if those officers are black or brown. The blue line is strong, so we have to be strong. And we're calling them out right now saying, ni uno más, ni uno más, ni uno más.
Ni uno más.
Because this community, and I've spoken to so many people, and it got even closer, lives in that fear. I live in that fear. I've been a lawyer for 25 years, and even when I'm driving down the street, when I see those lights, I think, okay, what's going to happen this time? That should not be the case. So we're here today to stand up for Isiah, stand up for all this community. No more lives lost. Stop the sheriff killing, stop the police killing. So thank you all for being here. Let's always stand true to this. This is an army that will stay intact and stay mobilized and stay motivated as this continues to go on. My client, who's becoming, I'm very close to him, Isiah is still in the hospital right now. He spent 3 weeks in a day in ICU. 3 weeks in a day in ICU means every day you might die. It took 2 weeks for his lung infection to kind of finally clear out. Yesterday, for the first time, he could barely stand up. He still can't eat or swallow. He has to write notes with one arm because the other arm is destroyed. He'll never walk again.
God damn.
That should never happen. So I want to thank everyone again for being here. Let's maintain this course. Let's hold these folks account. They want us to move. They came out in tactical gear because their initial response was, let's get into some ruckus. I don't know if they get overtime or what. But there's no reason to be out here with us. Their numbers are almost as what ours are. But everyone is here peacefully, and everyone here is going to stay the course. Ni uno más. Ni uno más. Justicia para Isiah. Justicia para Isiah.
So that was East LA. Now I have this other story here that I've got to share because this is the ridiculousness of how racist the police are and how stupidly violent they are, and that I don't know who's more stupid, us for not doing more, or how the police react to every single call. I mean, just last week we had a man go on a mini shooting spree and shoot 2 people by USC, and then led police on a high-speed chase. Then he gave himself up with his hands out the window on the 91 freeway, to which cops threw in tear gas and shot him. That's how they responded to that. Another man out in San Bernardino was tired of traffic zooming by his house so far, so he put rocks out on the street to slow people down, to which a motorist stopped, yelled at the man. The man came out with a shotgun, fired off a couple rounds. The motorist took off, called the sheriffs. Sheriffs came and, of course, shot the man, because that's just how they know how to deal with things, okay? Now, this story here takes place in Louisiana. Now, what does Louisiana have to do with California? Well, look, this is a national police union. This is American policing is what's being installed here in California, and it's absolutely disgusting. So here's American policing at its epitome right here. So I'm just going to say how the whole thing laid out, okay? So the one cop planted evidence on a black person, planted a firearm, planted drugs, and then murdered that individual. To substantiate that murder, he planted the guns and the drugs. He gets caught. His body cam footage gets released, and he's caught blatantly planting evidence and a weapon and on this deceased individual's car. It goes to trial. He's found not guilty. So now there's a protest in St. Louis, protesting that this cop needs to get fired or at least get some jail time for the murder of another individual. At this protest, there was an undercover policeman named Luther Hall, Detective Luther Hall, who was undercover at the protest. I don't know what he's doing there undercover for, what assignment. What are they trying to find? I mean, what? Regardless, he was undercover. And 3 St. Louis patrol officers asked Mr. Hall to lay down, hands behind your back. Now, Mr. Hall didn't want to blow his cover, so he complied with what the police did, and he was placed under arrest by the police, and then he was beaten to an inch of his life by 3 police officers. They beat him in front of the protesters, then they put him in the car, and they beat him some more in the station. He pleaded with them, he begged with them as much as he could, try to speak, that he was a police officer. They didn't pay any mind, and they just kept beating him to an inch of his life. In fact, Mr. Hall just got out of the hospital last week, and the trial for the 3 police officers also ended this last week, to which all 3 were found not guilty for beating up a black undercover police officer. So, you've got a protest for a cop who planted evidence and murdered a black person, where an undercover cop, black undercover cop, got beat up by 3 cops for being black. If that doesn't point out the blatant racism and the blatant abuse of authority by police, I have no idea what will convince you. You have your mind made up somehow that what, maybe these people didn't comply. Sorry, Luther Hall complied completely. He knew exactly what the 3 policemen were asking. He knew there was no mistaking it. Yeah, you could say he was resisting arrest or he was mouthing off. No, you can't say any of that. This is a policeman following procedure, getting arrested, and he was treated like crap, treated like a piece of shit. And I don't know if he's going to still be a policeman after that. If he is, then he's the biggest sucker that I know. In any regards, this is what is happening with the state of policing today, and I don't know what can be done. Well, there's defund the police. What's defund the police? Let's talk about it real quick. Defund doesn't mean you're ending the policemen. There's no more police. What you're doing is adding more departments, more agencies to deal with the calls that the police can't deal with, that don't know how to deal with them, because all they know how to do is shoot and kill. So what you have here in Orange County, we have Cat 911, which is a pretty well-known organization and a program that's trying to get implemented within the county, that's being pushed back by chiefs of police, by council people, and by county commissioners who are pushing this back to protect their jobs, to protect their funding. It's quite gross. But Cat 911 has the entire budget of what it would cost to get mental health professionals, nurses, hospital beds, facilities, a director, our organizational structure of this new agencies to take care of people who call 911 not for police or fire, but for mental health reasons. So they've got this entire budget set. Now, how would they pay for it? Well, the money that they would use that the police are using currently on these frivolous calls, which they don't know how to respond to, that money would go to fund Cat 911. That's it, folks. This has been implemented in Eugene, Oregon. This has been implemented in several cities in LA, Los Angeles County, and LA County is trying to adopt it again, but they're getting blowback over there as well. Orange County is getting more of a pushback, more so than LA County, but the budget is there, and it is not that much money, folks, to staff and furnish hospital beds and treatment centers for the multitudes that need that help instead of police help. If you're interested in any one of those, you can contact Cat 911. Just Google it up. They're always looking for donors, whatnot. Check it out, and check out your local community to see if they've got a program happening for an alternative to policing. It's much needed. These policemen are violent. They have zero intellectual capabilities to deal with a problem other than squeezing the trigger. So the quicker that we act as a community, the quicker we can defund and get rid of the patrol of these patrolmen. That's all I've got for you right now. I hope that sort of explains what defund the police is. Okay, it's not taking away all the cops. It's not. You have detective services that are that investigate homicides. I mean, those cops that do their job, they're great cops. But the patrol person, the person on the street, that person severely needs to get more training or not respond to those kind of calls. So that's all I've got for you today, folks. American policing and how it's affecting California. BS. We've got to change it here. It's already started in Orange County and LA County. Let's make it start in your county as well. That's all I've got to you. Have a wonderful day and an awesome tomorrow. Thank you.